Aim it at the pocket.
Got no regrets, I'm on the run, chasing the check, dropping the top, riding the vet, feeling myself, what you expect, you know I'm with it. No better feeling cause I could've quit but I didn't. 007 when I'm on a mission, moving it up to a better position. They thought I was...
What's going on YouTube world? Charles Hutcherson here today, and a question I always get, man, is just getting back into bowling. What ball should I be getting? And that question is such a broad statement because it doesn't really speak to your skill level either. So in this video, we're gonna talk about what ball you should be getting, whether you're a novice, whether you're coming back after a couple years, and the technology is so much different, there's so much more equipment on the market, it becomes really, really difficult, again, to make that first buying decision. So the first ball, right, we wanna talk about, again, the entry level, so Rhinos, a Tropical Surge, or Surge, I think, from Storm, and then, again, all the way up to some of the top end high performance. I don't have an Asymmetric Solid here with me, but that is the top tier, and when I mention it, I will flash a couple across the screen so you guys can kind of get a feel for what those balls look like in relation to these. So we have a fresh house shot here, and most people, when you walk into a league set, it's gonna be fresh. So we're gonna take a look at some of these particular options. Then we're gonna start with the bottom of the bag, and that is a spare ball. And most pro shops, when you're coming in and you're just in a casual bowler, right, they're gonna guide you to a T-zone, a white dot, a Storm mix, something of that nature, right? But a pure spare ball, right, polyester, and that's what this particular one is, and it should go straight. So, before we move up, let's throw a shot with the spare ball. This is what, again, fits that range. Straight. Doesn't hook a lot. Goes straight. So we're gonna throw like one more shot, and I'm gonna aim it more at the pocket, and we'll go from there. But before we get all the way into it, hit that like, subscribe button. If you want to help the channel grow, man, just hit the subscribe, man. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and that helps a lot. But if you do want to buy some merch or anything like that, get over to 12bagger.com. They have some exclusive merchandise, jerseys, and a bunch of other stuff on there too. So go over there, and Bowlersmart gonna have each one of these particular bowl balls on the website. So yeah, let's get to the lanes, guys. You can get in that first fit. Yeah, you're gonna get a ball that doesn't hook. And typically, you're throwing the ball really slow. A lot of people don't even use their thumb, so you need some type of control. And a lot of pro shops are going to suggest you get into a spare ball first, especially if you don't hook the ball at all. So this is definitely, hey, I have no rev rate, I'm just walking in. I like to casually bowl with my kids or something. They're going to suggest this, right? Because it's typically going to be the cheapest option. So you want to spend, $300, $400 on a, 2 or 3 bowling balls in a bag and shoes and everything. Typically gonna stick you in a spare ball or plastic. I'm gonna aim it right at the pocket. Aim it at the pocket. You can strike with it, as we just saw, but it's not ideal. So again, new bowlers that casually bowl, hey, I'm just here to bowl my kids, or you are, younger, youth bowler, and you're just getting used to the weights. So going with again, a kid that's only throwing a ball 8 miles an hour can hook this ball a ton, a spare ball. Typically, you see a lot of people do that, whether it's an Axe or just a low-end Tropical or Rhino. So, yeah, man, this is a great starting option for getting comfortable in the game. Next, we have the Rhino. And the Rhino, again, has a reactive cover stock, and then also it has a core. So a lot of the other options that are beneath this don't have cores, or they have like little pancake cores in them. This, you finally get to see some motion, right? Don't just throw it at the pocket and hope the ball, carries. But this one, you get to see some hook finally. So again, this is like above a twist. Twist might be one option below. I don't have a twist, which just has more cover stock and a little pancake core. Again, this is going to be a level up from a plastic ball or a ball that just doesn't have a core in it. So I'm still going to play pretty straight. Again, it's fresh oil. This ball is meant to give you some ball reaction, but not a ton. So that ball had a lot more pop, drove through the pins. It looks good. So we can actually start to move on the lane, and especially if you come in this open bowl and they haven't oiled, this ball's gonna hook a lot. So I'm actually gonna jump a little bit. That last particular shot, right, I was pretty straight. So I'm gonna open the lanes up. And this ball shouldn't hook. It's gonna hook, but I don't think we're gonna be high flush strike. And it strikes. It's a rhino, man. All right, I am throwing the ball considerably slower. That is helping the ball hook. I'm gonna throw one at my normal speed. At each brand, whether you like Motive, Storm, or the family of Brunswick, like they all have an option in this range. So it's really just pick what you like. I'm gonna throw one, normal speed. So again, threw the ball much more aggressively and didn't stop and get to the pocket. So again, but this is a step up. So you saw a lot more performance. And I'll throw the spare ball one more time, exact same way, and you guys will see. So again, stand on 25. I both threw them 25. No hook. A little bit of hook, not no hook. So now from here, we're actually gonna pick up the Hammer Raw series, which is a tad bit more performance than the Rhino. Like just a tad, not a huge quantum leap, but we're still talking about pearl cover stocks. And again, at the time of this video, they don't have the solid Rhino currently out, but there's one on the way. But anyway, for the sake of the video, again, this is a pearl, and it's a slight, again, step up from the Rhino and a big step up from the spare ball or plastic. So stand on 25, normal speed. Oh, might be closer than I assumed. So both of them right skid through the front. This is why I was like, they're not, again, crazy far off. The next one in performance, we're gonna see 100% a lot more hook. Let's try that again. All right, still on 25. I'm gonna move a little right off that last shot. So again, honestly, they don't look that far off. So I think core-wise, I think this should be a little bit stronger core numbers, but again, the cover stocks are still both mild. So actually, again, it's looking like they're like right there. So a Raw Series or a Rhino both can kind of get the job done. But the Raw Series does have a solid that definitely gives you a lot more performance. This is the Pearl, and this definitely looks a lot closer to the Rhino Series. So if you want to step up, a true step up, a Rhino or a Raw Hammer solid will give you much more performance in the oil. But let's throw one more, Raw Pearl. Bang. So definitely, again, both balls much straighter, not as much, again, motion down lane compared to what we're about to get into. How you doing? So yeah, let's jump up to a ball like the Swag Craze Solid. So again, if you're not familiar with Swag, this stuff, again, new cover stocks, again, new name, new rebranding, very, very cool stuff. But this is 100% stronger core, feels more like an IQ Tour Solid. And we'll throw IQ Tour Solid here just so you can see it as well. But much stronger than what we just previously saw from the Raw Series and the Rhino. So stay in the same spot, 25, and then I will jump right. Again, much, much, much stronger. As you see, again, I could play much further left opposed to those other two, but the shiny cover stocks, this is a solid, and it comes out of box at 3,000. So you get plenty of hook down lane. I'm gonna cheat right. I'm gonna go to 20 with my feet, still looking to get this ball out into the friction. Oh, I rolled it. I rolled it like bit over end. It's not the ball's fault. Mine's. It's mine. It's mine. So, but this ball is working towards. This ball is working towards the middle of the bag. So this still is like slightly below what you would call like a benchmark ball. Like most of the benchmark balls have a little bit stronger cores. So the next ball will kind of hit that nail on the head. All right, so jump to 20. So again, ball is digging in a little bit more in the middle of the lane and still having a lot more shape. So again, this is right below a true stronger core bowling ball. So we're gonna throw one more, and then we're gonna get into the next tier up. And who is this recommended for, right? These, hey man, I might be a no thumb, bowler. This will be a great option because it's gonna offer you a little bit of control before you jump into, the Black Widows or the Storm Equinoxes or the Motive, other ball Volca Stereo that we're going to take a look at. Like, instead of going that direction, those are pretty and cool, but these, now that's not pretty, but these is going to definitely get the job done. Like the Hustle series, like this is like a little bit stronger than the Hustle. Hits the pins a little bit louder, but again, not as much ball, a little bit cleaner than what we're about to see on this next tier up. So next tier up, ball like the Hammerhead, right? These core numbers are very like infamous and similar to the Game Breaker series. And this one, again, another clean but controllable, back end reaction. And the cover stock can handle some more oil. So we should even get further left into some of the heart of the pattern, and we should still be able to see a lot of continuation. So again, this is gonna be a little bit of a step up from, again, the Craze, like a little more core in this ball versus the Craze. So let's throw a couple shots. Let's throw one a little straighter, then we'll move left. And because this particular piece is dull, sometimes when you go stronger, it doesn't always mean more flip down lane. Like, it might allow you to move more into the oil, but don't throw it directly, to the one board and want to see it change direction. The next tier up into some of the more asymmetric pearls, that's where they really do their damage. But some of these balls like this, I wouldn't even say the phase two. Phase two is a little bit stronger than this particular ball, but some of those options, I think a Summit Ascent is another one that's similar to a Hammerhead, but it doesn't want to go coast to coast. It can, right? If you are a big rev rate person or you don't use your thumb, you're two-handed, like you can make most bowling balls go left. But this one should be a little smoother than some of the other options that are more skid flip or pearl or shiny hybrids. All right, so the last one I was up the board, really rolled the oil line. See what we get. Oh, 10 pin. But you see that ball picking up, it's revving. Yeah, I probably can slow down just a pinch and it's gonna, again, get the 10 pin out. But again, a little more performance, a little more traction, more tunability here. You can make it shinier to try to make it a little more skid flip, or you can make it duller, make it a little smoother, handle more oil, right? You might have to just close your angles down, but this ball allows you that flexibility. All right, let's throw another one. To the friction. Oh, baby. So now again, we're seeing a lot more motion than what we've previously seen, from again the Rhino and the Raw and even the Craze. Like, we're seeing a little bit more motion overall, like early, like from when it starts to hook and through the pins. So I'm gonna throw one more shot, then we're gonna jump up to everybody's favorite. All right, so one more, again, a little further left. Yeah, Storm Equinox here, the Asym Pearl, a lot of people love because it does the thing, man. Gets down lane, goes left. So because, again, this is still a fresh house shot, a lot of Asym Pearls might be too clean right now. So the Hammerhead was making a very, very, controllable motion. This might actually be a little too clean right now, but let's see what happens. Then on 25. So again, cleaner. When people say clean, that means it's not picking up, getting into a roll until after like the first, 20, 30 feet of the lane. Like it's not picking up and going crazy left like we were seeing more from the hammerhead. This one, again, cleaner through the front. But with a lot of Asym pearls, you get around it, it should see the back end of the pattern harder and go more left. So that first shot kind of rolled it a little bit. The second shot, I'm gonna really get around it. So a little bit cleaner. I feel like getting the stronger the ball, this Asym means the core is not the same all the way around. So you hear that term a lot, Asym or symmetrical. So again, symmetrics are the same way all the way around that core. Now all bowling balls, I don't want to confuse you too much, but when you drill holes into a bowling ball, it does make the ball asymmetric. But that's here nor there. When we're talking about Asym pearls and symmetrics, we're solely talking about what they are undrilled. All right, so Storm Equinoxy. Got around it. Really, again, wants to go left. I should be able to move right with it because there's oil in the lane, but typically you're going to an Asym pearl, like you don't got to use that game 1. You typically want to use that like game 2, game 2.5. And the reason is because they're typically a little more unpredictable. They need friction to really do their thing. Up front, you want to use a ball in like the hammerhead. Smoother, more controllable, predictable off the back end. So when I say predictable off the back end, the pattern's typically anywhere between 40 and 44 feet. That's where most house shots are, or things like 39 and 44. It's like the Storm argument. But what does it do after it gets off the oil? Does it go left? Does it start to get into a roll? Start to go forward? That is what we're talking about when we're talking about the break point. What is it doing once it leaves the pattern? But I'm gonna go right a little bit. Lane, I want to stand on 20. I threw it fast and it didn't hook. Sometimes, again, if I was throwing a stronger ball, which is that next tier up, looks much better. Balls like the Ion Max, Brunswick Mesmerize, the new Hammer Special Effect. Those particular bowling balls work earlier on more volume. They still will hook from there. Right now, we're throwing more of a transition piece. Just throw another one, a little bit straighter, a little bit slower. Hook a lot. Oh, ho, ho. Again, not as predictable. That's just simply what we just saw here. So, yeah. So now, again, I'm gonna show some shots of a previous videos as far as the stronger stuff. And we're gonna talk about balls like the Ion Max, again, Mesmerize, I think, yeah, the Special Effect. So all those particular balls, right, much earlier, asymmetric, solid cover stocks that are meant to be digging early. Again, most of these shots are on a fresh house shot. Some might be a sport, but I think most are a house, which you would typically see on a lane. And you get to these type of bowling balls after you've mastered these other tiers, right? So you got the really entry level, then you got like the medium tiers, which will be like the Cray Solid, the Hammerhead, a phase 2, which is always a tried and true ball reaction. And then once you get up to an Asym Pearl, again, those are always the flashy ones, man. Like you're gonna want to get your hands on them, but I promise you, your best scores are going to be with a Cray Solid, Hammerhead, phase 2. Like all of those, you're gonna have some of your best sets with those particular balls because they work on most conditions. So you want to have something like that in the bag. Motive Max Real Solid in that tier as well. I just had some success with that one, so I gotta throw that in there because Max Real Solid is really good. So is the Pearl. But talking about those, right? When you're building a bag, you want to have pretty much like a ball in each tier. You want to have a big asymmetric that can handle the heaviest of oils, getting the furthest left. When it's fresh. These balls are digging in and they're still continuing through the pins. That's because of how strong they are. It's typically why the price point is higher than most. So once you get there, you go down to, again, the asymmetric pearls. You want to have one of those at least in the bag because who knows what you're gonna face on the lanes, but still, I feel like that's for the more like, hey, I'm bowling league consistently at least once a week, and I need this type of ball reaction because I'm getting forced into more uncomfortable parts of the lane if you're still learning the game. So like, if you're trying to jump left with a big asymmetric solid, it might not always work out. You might need to go to an asymmetric pearl, something that's storing more energy through the pins. Like, so a big tire, right, is what the big asym solids are. Big, strong tire, digging in early, right? If I'm digging through snow, I want something, you know, that allows, has teeth and it digs, right? The pearls and the hybrids that come shiny, right, are like, you know, speedy cars, right? They're slick, but they're meant for, again, creating energy down the lane and change of direction. So the traction and the skid flip, so that's kind of the big difference. Then again, as you step down right into that all-purpose bowling ball, you're gonna be really good. Now, again, you work down, typically your dry lane balls are going to be balls like the Rhino, or again, beginner, right? I'm just getting in and I just want to, you know, bowling casually, haven't really joined the league yet. You want to live in that zone with the Rhinos and again, the Raw series. Those really get the job done, or Surge. Surge does it as well, from Storm. Again, I'd like to mention all the brands because they all have, again, a ball in this particular category. So, and they're all pretty good. So yeah, that really is it, man. Hopefully I answered all of your questions as best as I possibly could. And that is, again, how I would go about selecting a ball. Again, if I'm just a casual league bowler, I mean, a casual walk-in pizza and beer league, you know, I would, you know, you can get a spare ball, a mix, a T-zone, those work. And then, hey, I'm coming to bowl with my kids. Maybe your kid bowls on Saturdays and you want to bowl before or after with them. Man, getting a Rhino, you know, or a raw pearl, raw solid. Just so, hey, man, I'm trying to learn the game myself a little bit. You want to help, you know, teach your kid, you know, how to bowl a little bit yourself. Hey, these are good tools to have, so I would do that. Then, hey, I'm bowling league, man. I'm getting ready. Hey, man, go ahead and get you, you know, a Craze solid, a Max Drill solid. You know, both of these balls are cleaner, but they can handle a little bit of oil and still give you a nice controllable shape at the back end and more performance than you will see from the Rhino series. Then, hey, man, I'm really trying to build a bag out. All right, let me get something even stronger. Let me get a Hammerhead, let me get, again, a Storm Equinox, and let me add to my arsenal of equipment, right? If you're building a 6-ball, you know, arsenal to bring into league, or even just a 3-ball, right? A spare ball, you know, maybe a Rhino, and then maybe something, you know, like a Hammerhead or Phase 2, right? And that's how you get started, which is nothing wrong with that at all. And that's honestly my preferred, you know, method. Get 3 balls, man, a spare ball, something lightly reactive, and then something, you know, a little bit more, right? So like Hammerhead, or even getting a Craze solid, or even an IQ. So yeah, man, a lot of talking. Want to get this information out to you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, man, have any questions, leave them in the comments. We'll go from there, man. Hit the like, subscribe button. Appreciate you guys.
Ain't buying no chain till I buy me some land. Making the way to buy my estate. Boat on the lake, plus one in the bay. What can I say? I want it all.